What the heck are plugins? How do I even enable this? And how do I actually start using them? My name is Nick Nelbach, co-creator of Next Gen Podcaster, a community dedicated to helping podcasters and content creators like you understand and implement AI, free up your time, and get more done. In this video, we'll cover what ChatGPT plugins are, how you actually enable them, and I'll also show you some really nifty plugins that you can use as a content creator to level up your creativity and get more out of ChatGPT. Let's do it. ChatGPT plugins are essentially these third-party applications that allow you to communicate with apps outside of ChatGPT itself. You can use plugins like Expedia and Kayak to help you book trips, find hotels, find flights. There are even plugins out there that allow you to connect to specific websites or scan URLs so that you can gain information from actual websites and not just the fixed data set that ChatGPT has collected. For content creators, we can use these plugins to help analyze information, pull transcripts from videos on places like YouTube, and we can even use ChatGPT to read PDFs and gain valuable insights from the information in those documents. So it is important to note, to use these plugins, you have to be on ChatGPT Plus. ChatGPT Plus is $20 a month, but it does bring additional functionality than the free version that you might be used to using. Instead of just using ChatGPT 3.5, you're upgraded to GPT-4 in addition to some of the extra functionality like plugins, code interpreter, and custom instructions. Once you have ChatGPT Plus, you'll notice a new section over here called GPT-4 with some additional functionality. But in order to get these options down here, you actually have to turn them on. So first, come down and click on your name, and you'll see an options for settings and beta. Next, click on beta features, and here you'll see all the experimental and beta features that ChatGPT currently has available, including plugins. So we just want to make sure that that is checked on. If you come in here and you do see these other two options for custom instructions and code interpreter, you can go ahead and check those on, but I'll cover those in more detail in another video. With plugins checked on, you can come over, hover over GPT-4, and you'll see the options for plugins beta. Click that, and now you have a new option here that says no plugins enabled. Now here you can see I have all of these different plugins installed already. Now in order to install them, you have to scroll down to where you see plugin store. This is where you're going to see all the popular, new, or all the plugins that ChatGPT has to offer, and there are a lot of them. So be sure to come back and check because plugins are constantly being added to the store. Now just to kind of show you how this thing works, when you find a plugin you want to use, all you have to do is click install, and now you can begin interacting with that app inside ChatGPT. And before you actually get started doing that, you have to make sure that the plugins that you want to use are selected. So this is the new plugin I just installed. It is checked on. It's also important to note that you can only have 3 plugins enabled at any given time. And once you start the chat, you are locked into using those plugins specifically. You can't start having a conversation and then go change plugins and then continue the conversation. If you want to change the plugins that you're actually using, you'll actually have to come up and start a new chat and select the new plugins that you want to use. And then as far as actually using the plugins, it could not be simpler. Just start prompting ChatGPT like you normally would, and if ChatGPT feels like it needs to go outside to find the correct answer for you, it will automatically get in those plugins. And for whatever reason, it doesn't seem like the plugin is being used and you feel like it should be getting used, all you have to do is go in and type into ChatGPT to use that plugin to fulfill that task. So as an example, this WebPilot plugin that I like to use, it can browse web pages, PDFs, and data based on a URL. So here I'm telling ChatGPT to analyze the URL with WebPilot. This usually gets ChatGPT started on using the plugin, but then we have to tell it what we actually want it to do. So here I'm saying analyze this URL with WebPilot, our website, Next Gen Podcaster, and then I said, then give me a summary of this web page. So now you see this little box up here that's saying ChatGPT is using WebPilot. If you check open this box, here you can see all the different code that it is creating and using to interact and ultimately create the answer that you have here. In most cases, that's not important. However, we can see that it is actually going to the website Next Gen Podcaster, and it is pulling information from the website, which is exactly what we wanted. So it took a look at the web page. It said Next Gen Podcaster is a community designed to empower podcasters by leveraging AI. That's 100% correct. The platform offers various benefits and features, a free AI and podcasting mini course, why join Next Gen Podcaster community, the different membership options, and more ways to use AI for your podcast. In this case, it actually went through and pulled specific blog posts to get the information from here. So you can see it is actually interacting and connecting with the website based on the URL I provided. And without the plugin, we couldn't get this kind of functionality. If you put in a URL by itself and tell ChatGPT to analyze, you usually get that message that says, I'm a chatbot, I can't do this thing. So this is just an example of how you can use plugins to enhance your experience while using ChatGPT. So as a content creator, you're probably wondering, how do I use these plugins to make my job better, to improve my work, to enhance my creative ability? usability. So let's take a look at a few of the plugins that I like to use on a regular basis. Now, you already saw me use WebPilot. This is a plugin that I almost have checked on every single time I go into ChatGPT because I like to interact with other content that's on the web, and ChatGPT just can't do that. So I might find articles or web pages that I find inspiration from, and I'll use WebPilot in ChatGPT to help break down that website, kind of build something of my own or create my own piece of content that is related to the piece that I find online. So here I said, analyze this URL, and I took a blog post from our website, Next Gen Podcaster, and said, give me a brief summary and break down the most important points from the blog post. Now we're going to let ChatGPT and WebPilot do its thing, and boom, ChatGPT is starting to summarize the blog post and give us the key points exactly like we asked for in the prompt. So here we go. We have the entire summary and we have the important points broken down pretty close to the sections that we wrote in that blog post, which is pretty cool. So I essentially have everything that I need here now to take this idea from the blog post and either run with it for another video or create my own blog post that might be very similar. Another cool thing you can do if you have your own blog post content is you can get ChatGPT to break out these important points, and you can turn each of these important points into a short form video for Instagram Reels or TikTok or YouTube Shorts. There are a bunch of different ways that you can use this information, and we can actually tell ChatGPT to help us do that from here. So I said, based on the information, help me come up with 3 ideas for TikTok. ChatGPT says, certainly here are 3 TikTok video ideas that align with the content from the blog post and could resonate with your target audience. So now with giving me 3 ideas, ChatGPT in action, title generation, SEO keyword made easy with SEMrush, which is another point that we covered in that article, and then transforming your content with ChatGPT. So you can kind of see how as we're interacting with the different content, we can use that to come up with new ideas for our own content in a way that we're not stealing the content, but we're actually borrowing ideas from the content so we can come up with our own creative work. Now, similarly to using WebPilot to analyze blog post URLs, we can use YouTube Caption Retriever to pull information from actual YouTube videos. So I'm just going to paste in a URL of our latest YouTube video, and I'm going to tell ChatGPT to give me a quick summary of this video. Fail. Okay, so in this case, ChatGPT was unable to do what we asked it to do. So this is something else that I've noticed with the plugins as well. Sometimes they don't like to work when you are showing people how to use them. So in this case, it's basically telling me that it can't summarize the content. I'm going to actually paste it in again and just retry and see if it'll pick it up this time. Okay, so as you can see, I literally just said summarize this video for me. I didn't change anything else, and this time it actually kicked in, and we can see here that it was able to pull all the captions from this video now. Not really sure what that is. That is just a very good lesson of using ChatGPT. Things don't work the first time. It doesn't mean that they're not going to work. Sometimes you have to give ChatGPT just a little more encouragement to get it working. And clearly here now it is actually going through and it is doing what we asked it to do finally. Here it broke down the video into the different sections, finding a topic and keyword research, analyzing competitor content, generating titles. All this is coming from the video itself, which is pretty cool. Now you can see as a content creator how we can be utilizing this information to develop and refine our own content. Now, these are just 2 of the plugins that I like to use on a regular basis. There are obviously tons of different plugins out there just going through the plugin store. A lot of them do the same functionality, but some of them are completely new and bring totally new functionality. So be sure to check out the popular here to see what people are downloading and installing the most. And don't be afraid to come back and check these new plugins that are being installed, because new ones are being installed pretty regularly. Just the other day I was in here and there were like 80 pages of plugins here, and now there's already over 104 in just a few days. Definitely check back, see what's new, and see how you can start incorporating them in your own content creation. Now, I obviously didn't go through every single plugin that I use because I want to save your time. I just more wanted to show you how to get in and start using it. If you want a more complete list of some of my favorite plugins, just go down in the description. I put a list right down there for you. Now, if you want more content like this, if you want to learn how to use AI for your content creation, be sure to hit that subscribe button, because we're starting to get more consistent with this YouTube thing. We're putting out videos pretty regularly here to help you understand how to use AI for your own processes. And if you have any other questions, be sure to drop them down in the comments. We'd love to help answer any questions you might have, and it'll help give us an idea of the videos that you want to see that we can start creating. So don't be afraid to drop the questions down there. Okay, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe.